Hey everybody, welcome to On the Road to Success. I have a really special guest with me. He's all the way in Bali, which is about 6 in the morning over there, 6:15 in the morning to be exact. I'm here in New York City, Eastern time. It's 6:15 p.m. over here. So he's 12 hours ahead of me, I believe, if the math is right. Mike Chang is the co-founder of Six Pack Shortcuts with over 4 million subscribers and 500 million views. He's an eight-figure entrepreneur. Do you live in Bali now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yep.
know you used to live in Texas, but it's just an awesome story. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Yeah, it's a little early for me, but man, I wanted to jump on, man, and chat with you and share. So, got my coffee in my hand, ready to roll, man. Doing awesome.
Same here. I mean, it's afternoon, but I got coffee too.
Nice, nice.
Hey, Mike, so I know you have a cool company. You started in the early days on YouTube. I remember subscribing to your YouTube channel. I was like 16, 17 years old, and I was scraping up the money. I think it was like $80 at the time. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's a funny fact. A lot of people didn't know I actually edited the Six Pack Shortcuts program, and I
The first,
personally edited.
the first one, right? The first program.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
I remember sitting there using Final Cut, chopping it all together. Yeah.
I think before we get into your story and the YouTube and your company, why you sold it, that's what, I want to know that. I think what people want to know is your story, kind of like growing up as a child. If you can take that away for the next 2 minutes or so, and how you led up to like the YouTube thing in your company.
Well, this is interesting, because there's actually two stories from different angles, and it may make sense as I share what I'm doing now. But I'll share with you my original story, and the one that I used to share more often before, which is basically, and what really kind of started with me exercising. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and I used to get picked on a lot, and I wanted to like be strong. I wanted to like defend myself. I wanted to boost on my self-confidence and self-esteem. And so I gravitated towards everything that was like masculine, that was like how to be a man, and back then it's like Arnold, he's like kicking ass on screen, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Van Damme, Stallone. All these guys were inspirations of mine, and they were just badasses. They looked good and they could freaking kick some ass and like fearless. And I gravitated towards two major things growing up. One of them was exercising, and the other one was martial arts. And over time, I kept up with the exercising and kind of dropped off the martial arts, and it just kept going with it. And that was the inspiration for the longest time. And to be honest, it was actually over time. It started off as like wanting to defend myself and wanted to physically be stronger. And as I started getting older, it became this ongoing story of I'm going to go ahead and prove myself to all the naysayers and to everybody that looked down on me and to all this stuff. And that was a fuel. That was a fuel of mine for a long time. Only until maybe about 5 years ago, about 4.5 years ago, before it took a really, really radical shift. But until then, that was really drove me to go ahead and work my butt off. And then when I started the company, just put everything I got, and yeah, so that's my story, that the short version.
I love it, man. I remember like when the company so you sold the company. That's what happened, right? You sold the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you sold the company, and I was really disappointed. I'm like, why did he sell the company? You had such a great product. But that's just my opinion. And I respect whatever you had to do. I get it. It's okay.
You
Um,
weren't the only one, man. You weren't the only one. I left. I straight up just dropped off the side of the earth and just left.
that's exactly what I was gonna get to. All the comments, I was like, Mike Chang, where is he? Like everywhere. I was Facebook. I was looking everywhere. I could not find you. I just wanted to know what happened. You don't have to tell me, but that was my thought process at the time, because what you created was such an amazing product, such an amazing program that it benefited so many people. And kudos to whoever is taking charge of it now or whatever. But just that first program, I remember specifically you were doing a video and you were talking about you're gonna notice that you're gonna start feeling stronger when you move furniture around. And I thought it was pretty. I'm like, what is he talking about? Furniture around? When you move your couch, when you pick up groceries, and it was true. Like I would pick up groceries, I would clean the house, and I would feel stronger. I would feel lighter, and everything that you were saying at the time and still now, it's just amazing. So again, guys, if you're watching this, check out that program. They have other ones too, but my favorite one is the one that Mike Chang did. But I want to talk about the YouTube and how you understood that YouTube was gonna kind of like be a big thing, and then you turned it into like a business, because all your videos that I started using first were on YouTube, and they are free, and they're still free. So if you can kind of talk about those early days and how the idea of forming the company came about.
Yeah, sure, man. We use YouTube as a way to go ahead and share, while at the same time using it as a traffic source. It worked out great. We didn't know that it was gonna be this really big thing. That YouTube's gonna be like the next TV and all that. It was just it was a lot of testing. We basically were testing certain traffic sources, and YouTube was one that just took off. It took off. It did pretty well. Like me and my partner, when we started up the company, he had a lot more experience than me with internet marketing. I had absolutely none. But we really just used a lot of trial and error. We only knew that we were going to go ahead and make this happen no matter how we were going to do it. And we weren't tied in or attached to like a certain thing, and really hadn't much of a game plan. So every step of the way, I used to tell people this so often, it was just testing and testing and testing and trying things. I was building departments that I never even been a part of or knew it existed. I didn't know the formal names of anything. All I knew is this is what we need to do. Like, customer needs this. We need to go ahead and say this. We need to go ahead and show this. We need to have them do. Just like, it was just very simple. A lot of times people are like, oh, so you needed a position. You need a person that does this. Or you need a creative director, or you need a HR. Like, these names, these fancy structures. Like, I didn't know any of these titles, formal, anything. It was just very, very straightforward and logic. And when it became YouTube, it was the same thing. When we learned our strategies, there was no like special thing. It was just we put some money in here, and then videos show up here. And if it works, then people will buy it, and then we just put more money in here, because it only makes sense. Because if we keep doing that, and we can put more money in here, and then more money spits out, and we keep more at the end. It's just like very, very basic ways of looking at it. We didn't get very sophisticated until years and years later, when we started to learn from people that really knew what they're doing. And we're like, oh, cool. There's these type of ways of doing this and that, but for many years, we just used the logic and just grew it. Because when we were on YouTube and we were scaling up the business, we were doing these marketing videos, and we're promoting ourselves, we didn't really have anybody to follow. Nobody was doing it.
Wow.
Like, we had problems trying to go ahead and track the sales. Like, we were straight up just testing everything and just doing what we could every single day at every step. It was to the point to where we got invited to Google and YouTube, because we were one of the 12 people on this panel that were like pioneers of what we were doing. And there were people in other niches and stuff like that. I remember there's somebody like in a hair product or something like that. There was somebody in like cooking. It was like every niche they brought in somebody, and we represented fitness. And what they really wanted to do was find out like how you guys are using YouTube, how you guys are running the ads. What is your business model? What's your funnel? How does it look like? And, we worked with them for a while. We were like, just test subjects and stuff like that. And it was cool. It was really cool. It was a fun time.
Definitely very beautiful seeing the growth and actually getting to witness that back when I was a teenager in my early 20s and seeing you now. But once you say that the important thing was, because you talk about you didn't know this, you didn't know that, and growing the company and all these different titles, The important thing wasn't it starting. Like at least you just started. I remember videos that you would do with exercises. It was just a towel or like a water gallon. Yeah, I remember in your living room. It was simple weights, couple weights, dumbbells, 25 pounds, whatever, and you
Yep.
would get a nice pump. So how important is it just to start as opposed to, oh, I need this, I need that, I need this money, I need this partner. How important was it just to start?
It's not just important. It's always the thing that prevents people, you know. And this is something that back then I knew. Now I understand on a whole different level, you know, with a whole different new perspective. But to answer your question directly, it is the most important. I haven't worked out with much weights for 4.5 years, you know, and like literally I spent most of my workouts actually in the kitchen, not eating, but actually working out in the kitchen. You know, like, you know, you go to a kitchen, a lot of times you have those, you know, the corner of the kitchen. I'd use that as dips. And besides that, I used the fridge to go ahead and get up into a handstand to do handstand push-ups. Like, it's so simple. You know, I tell people that if everybody was just doing push-ups and squats every day, you know, and they just didn't matter. They did 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, go run in place. Something so simple, obesity wouldn't stand a chance. People would be healthy. You know, I think they're not going to look like fitness models, but they would be in decent shape. But people put so many obstacles in front of them because they have this belief that it has to be that fancy and complicated. And I was always big on trying to keep things like simple, because I knew what it really took, you know, to go ahead and help people and simply just take an action. And this has been something that I've really now has dialed into my message. And I personally do it just so it's not something that I would tell someone to do, but I would go and do something else, which is pretty much it's a lot of the industry, a lot of trainers, a lot of this stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I've stayed away from weights, you know, especially like I have a pair of dumbbells that I would use maybe once a week at the most. And I do like really little exercises. Besides that, I do literally 12 exercises for building muscle now. And I have a gym membership, literally walking distance 5 minutes from my villa, from my house. You know, it takes me a minute to drive my scooter.
Right.
But I purposely don't go over there because I want to go ahead and literally be able to look at somebody and tell them, these are the 12 exercises that I do. No bullshit marketing or anything like, no, straight up, dude, this is exactly what I do. And I'll tell you like this, like, yes, I built a lot of muscle in the past. So there is tremendous amount of muscle memory. But there are people that are getting tremendous amount of results. And now I don't have to be the only one, because there's tons of people online now using calisthenics, doing really simple things and getting phenomenal results. So it's just really just about starting. It's about starting. It's just about getting past, you know, the mental story.
Right. Now, are you still involved with the company, or
Yeah.
you just sold it? That's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So,
Yeah. And actually, I like to share really quick. You know, a lot of people wondering on why I left, and it's not something I keep as a mystery. Actually, I often share this because it's something that has been really, really impactful, and a lot of people are going down. A lot of people may be going down very similar paths. You know, they believe that financial success, that, you know, getting somewhere in life, that represents happiness. You know, a lot of people think that, and so therefore they don't care about trying to be happy. No, let me go ahead and take care of this and just work my butt off. And they're thinking, once I get there, once I build this up, you know, once I have a lot of money and everything goes great, then I'm going to go ahead and it's not that I worry about happiness. They just kind of see it as hand in hand, because they're so worried, you know, they're so worried, and they have this survival thing, you know. And I've been down that path. That's what really drove me. And the reason why I left is because I realized that it's not true. Like 100% not true. I reached a level of success that is, you know, it's okay. You know, I was financially free. I didn't have to worry about money. You know, I I had a great body, you know, so that's what a lot of people want. Had a lot of friends, you know, I had a nice girlfriend, you know, and I'd had this dream company and everything was really awesome, you know? And so I was thinking I was living the dream, and I was used to tell people how happy I was, until, even though I was still stressed, even though I complained a lot in my head. But to be honest, dude, like, I didn't think that it was wrong for me to complain. I didn't think it was wrong for me to go ahead and stress. And when I say wrong, I mean like that I wasn't super happy, because in my mind, I was listing all the things to be happy for, until I had an extraordinary experience to where I experienced a level of happiness that was something I've never experienced, like, ever. And then it made me realize that the way I was before was like terribly, terribly stressed and terribly just frustrated, you know, and so fearful. And I had no idea. And that's why I left the company, because when I experienced that, I realized that I've been chasing after the wrong thing. And I didn't know exactly what happened to me at the time. And it's now 4.5 years later, and I did nothing but go inside and find out exactly what happened, which then led me down the path of hacking into my mind and my body, hacking into consciousness, and then eventually going down the path of spirituality, of all this, what is the purpose, God, all of this stuff, to come back, to dial it down into a practical way to give people a message, you know? And so that's the reason. It wasn't just because, oh yeah, I've done okay, I'm going to take a vacation. Hell no, dude. I put in everything in my life. My life was six-pack shortcuts, you know, everything I got. I lived and breathed that stuff, you know, like I worked 6 days a week a lot of times, you know, 70, 80 hours. And I, quote, loved it, you know? And so the last thing I would do is to go ahead and give up my baby. That's like I would tell people, my girlfriends and all this stuff, work is first, and then everything else, including them, would come after. Like, that was above my family. That was above everything. And some people be like, damn, that's hardcore. Yeah, I'm a hardcore motherfucker, man. That's how I was, you know? And so, but there's a lot of people that had that mentality, thinking like, you know, it's really good. And, you know, there's a whole other perspective. And ultimately, people want to be happy. And now I figured out some things that's just, it's something that a lot of people hopefully will get to, but haven't figured out yet, which is really about how to really be happy, how to really feel good, because people are suffering out there and they're chasing after something that doesn't help them become any better. It may put some money in their pocket. It may put financial security. It may buy them a lot of stuff, but in reality, there's something else that they're searching for, man. And that deeper thing.
I respect you for doing that and for leaving something like that, because a lot of people, they probably won't do that because, you know, of judgment, or fear of judgment of other people, and the money they're making, and the status and all this stuff, right? Having a great life. I got like 6 minutes. I'm in lunch break here, my full-time job, guys. And I want to get these 2 questions in real quick before I let you go. And the next question, I just want to, if you can answer it briefly, because I don't really want to focus on the negative, but there was a lot of stuff out there. And I don't know if you dealt with it. I don't know if you know about it, but a lot of people like Mike Chang is a scam. Mike Chang is on steroids. Mike Chang this and that. And I've always been a guy, like, if you don't know, like, why you got to put stuff out there? Like, your life has to suck so bad that you have so much energy to talk bad and write an article about Mike Chang, who's doing something incredible out there. So was that something that you had to handle, just real quick?
I didn't really have to handle it because I just didn't care. Awesome. You know, I didn't care. I mean, I knew that, you know, some people they're upset. So people that are upset, they're going to be upset. They're just finding something to be upset about, you know, angry about, you know. So any easy targets, you know, anything that they can target, they'll do that. They'll express. The way they express is going to be anger. So it doesn't matter. They do it on YouTube, in person, they do it in their relationships, at work, they complain. It's all good, you know. Yeah, it's all good. I didn't mind, you know. That definitely, yeah, I see the comments and all this stuff, and I totally understood, you know, and I was in the point of understanding, you know, because part of my company was ran by my partner, and he was into marketing, and so all the commercials, a lot of the ads, a lot of the stuff, you know, and I was taking care of the content, being the face, and running a lot of the operations and all this stuff. So, you know, so there was like this two sides of me. One side is marketing and commercials, and the other side is organic content, sharing videos and how-to stuff. And sometimes, there's like two different ways of presenting myself, so people talk smack about it. It's all good. It was all good. I didn't blame people, and I don't mind, it's all good.
So just if somebody's going through adversity or negative comments, it's all good. I think a lot of people want to get even instead of getting ahead. And
don't waste your time. Don't waste your time, man. Put your attention to where you want to go. There will always be stuff like that happening. Just let it go. Don't even look at it. Don't even address it. Just pretend it's not there and just keep going where you want to go.
Last question. A lot of your early days, I know you did a lot of stuff for free, especially on YouTube. You put a lot of content out there for free. I saw a lot of your stuff that helped me. I never gave you a dime until I subscribed. And even when I subscribed to your company and your program, it was a one-time payment, a lifetime payment. Yeah, you can upgrade, you can get different programs, but it was a one-time payment, and you have that for the rest of your life. So if you can quickly talk about the value of doing something for free when it comes to having a product or a brand or something that you're building.
It's like a couple of things, you walk into Costco, you walk to a place and you get samples of things. A lot of times, people want to know that something works. You want to build trust with people. And if somebody's product or service is so good, then it's nice to go ahead and allow people to feel comfortable before having any value exchange. Wow. And so this is something that we live by, and this is something I continuously do now, especially if somebody is sharing something that they're passionate about. Then it's free, but it's not a toll because people love what it is that they're sharing. And this is how YouTube was able to go ahead and really allow people to have their own business and still be able to create this content that drives them every single day. And it's really awesome. And that's what we did. We wanted to make sure that no matter if people were paying us or not, some people will buy and some people won't buy. It's just like that. Some people always go for the free, and some people always go ahead and pay because that's just the way they like to get information and that's like their lifestyle. Some people always look for the little ways of trying to get something for free. It's all good. The way I saw it, it didn't matter. Because somebody who, if someone used all the free workouts and didn't pay a single dime, well, if they did the workouts, then awesome, dude, they're getting great shape. And they'll tell other people. And then so therefore, it still helps a lot of people. And then maybe one person out there buys. It doesn't matter, So it's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
It's very true what you say, because that's what happened with me. Your stuff was so good that I was like, I almost felt guilted into, my God, it's so good, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Just because that's, the love and the trust, that's what you created. But Mike, I want to thank you for your time. It was a pleasure having you on my interview show. I'm going to go ahead and edit this and post it and to put it throughout social media. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, or maybe, I don't know if you're doing training or online, I don't know what you're up to, but if you want to share that real quick so they can go ahead and follow you.
Yeah, so I'm coming out with a new site. It's not being built yet. It's in the process right now. But until the meantime, they can find me on Instagram, Mike Chang Official, or on YouTube, just Mike Chang. And there I'll be sharing the things that I'm into now. I dive really deep into it, and we talk about like free workouts and all this stuff. It's still same thing. I'm producing content all the time, and it'll be free for everybody. This is just stuff I'm really passionate about. It's fitness now combined with spirituality, and they can learn more by checking it out over there, man. Next level stuff. Again, this is going to be mainstream in 3 years from now. It's just that, but there is a lot of early adopters that are ahead of the curve, and we know where the industry is going in that. So it's going to be the best stuff that it's going to create the level of happiness that people are searching for, and the style of fitness and training is literally next level stuff, man. So let's go and check it out.
Don't hang up yet, but everybody, there goes the alarm.
Sorry. There you go.
Don't hang up yet, but everybody, I hope you enjoyed this interview. I hope it was of value to you. Thank you so much for your time. Mike Chang with On the Road to Success. My name is Carlos. It was a pleasure having you. Take care.
Thanks.